Comic Book Yeti presents Kickstart My Heart.
Hi everyone, I'm Byron O'Neal and you are watching the first episode of my new show for Comic Book Yeti called Kickstart My Heart. I wanted to start a platform to highlight a few of the interesting active Kickstarter comic campaigns that are going on. This month there are some really amazing offerings. We're going to cover a big gamut of different things, this time around mental health, food, antibiotic resistance, just a plain old fun space adventure, and what would December be without something fun for the holidays? So we're going to throw that in there too. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Hombre North is a fantastic new project focused on one person's struggle to overcome mental illness. Mental health is a subject that needs more attention, so I was super excited to learn about the book, and I got a chance to interview the creators about it for Comic Book Yeti a few weeks back. I reached out to Jeremiah to give you a quick snapshot about the story he is trying to tell. His words do it more justice than mine could. Take it away, Jeremiah.
Hallowed North is a story about hope, but that doesn't mean it's a happy one. This is the mind's last stand against unrelenting darkness, and I'm trying to capture that as candidly as possible. But once the issues have been collected in a trade and all is said and done, people should leave with a greater understanding of the giants that those with mental illness face every day, and hopefully be a little bit more empathetic to each other, and most importantly, to themselves.
So the inevitable question that you're asking yourself is, Byron, why should I back this book? I haven't seen much like Hallowed North out there, frankly. Mental health is such an important issue these days, and it deserves more attention. Jeremiah deserves a big thanks for being willing to tackle something so deeply personal in this project. The artwork is gorgeous and has a Tyler Crook, Harrow County feel to it that creates this spooky and tactile atmosphere for the readers. And fans of the dark fantasy genre will definitely enjoy it. But I think it has a much more universal appeal, as we all can struggle emotionally at times. It's definitely worth checking it out. I hope you do. Next up, we have an all-ages food project. We all know we should eat a little bit better. I see you out there gobbling down that Taco Bell while you listen to this. When I heard about Christian Ochoa's new comic book label, Comical Foods, I knew I had to interview him about it. Shameless self-promotion, you can look for that in January. His new Kickstarter project, Journey to the Top of the Food Pyramid, is a fun way to introduce kids and stubborn adults to the joys of healthier eating. This is a stellar creative team that have put together a beautiful book. I reached out to them and let them explain it in their own words. And go!
Hi, this is Angelina, co-creator of the 32-page comic book Journey to the Top of the Food Pyramid, a fantasy adventure story about two siblings, an older sister and little brother. Along their journey, they learn the meaning of family and friends, and in this food-inspired world, they must gather courage and use their imagination. They need to climb up a pyramid to restore balance to a sugar-polluted world full of magical food creatures. Now, this comic book also comes with 30 pages of additional recipe material about the creation of the comic. Why? Because we want kids and adults alike to see the entire process of how our story came to be. The recipes are full of environment, character, and creature designs that you will love.
I have a lot of respect for Christian Ochoa and this Journey to the Top of the Food Pyramid project. This really felt like a labor of love, and there's something that reminds me of growing up watching Saturday morning cartoons with my brother and those public service jingles that we all saw that encouraged us to brush our teeth or eat more vegetables. The artwork even has that Saturday morning cartoon vibe to it. It's so much fun, and getting that positive message out there to kids about eating right is more important now than ever. That's not to say that this is all message and it beats you over the head with it. It certainly doesn't, and I don't want to leave you with that impression at all. This is an adventure story about siblings coming together as much as anything else. The creative team is excellent, and how many times have you looked for a unique gift for a child in your life? Here you go. With this next one, we're going to see how tackling a tough subject can also be pretty entertaining. Antibiotic resistance is a big deal. Like, we gotta fix this to maintain the longevity of our species big deal. It seems overwhelming, and often there's a disconnect between the extremely smart people doing the research on the subject and getting it to the general populace in an easily digestible form. That's where the Resist Now project comes in. It's brilliant. And instead of focusing on the peril of the subject, this tries to look at the topic from a hopeful perspective. I reached out to the team to hear a little bit about the project. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm one of the producers behind Resist Now, an anthology comic about antimicrobial resistance. Antimicrobial resistance is the problem that bacteria, fungi, and parasites are becoming increasingly insensitive against the medicine we use to treat them with. And that can mean that soon we won't be able to treat some infections anymore. And that's a massive problem. But people are doing something about this and trying to fix this problem. But it's sometimes difficult to translate research to a way that you can understand. And that's why science fiction comes into play, because this is what science fiction is made for. So we partnered up 7 research labs and 7 science artists, and we are going to bring you their research in a science fiction twist, because you deserve to know what scientists are working on right now. So if you like this, please consider supporting us, and thank you so much for listening.
It's crazy to me that Resist Now even exists. This is the power of the comics medium these days, that there's a book available about antibiotic resistance and that it looks not boring or worse, threatening or scary, but encompasses a positive message that we can actually do something to combat it. It was a huge effort, I'm sure, to put all this together, and you're unlikely to find anything else with so many PhDs having worked on it. Probably more than any other project here, this one needs your help. They have a big funding goal trying to get this out there to everyone, and I hope you can consider backing it. Our next project makes me think of Pigs in Space from The Muppet Show. Sorry, I'm aging myself. What can I say? Space Oddities is a hilarious project. I recently interviewed the creative dynamic duo behind the book, and Crow writer Ben Robinson describes it as, quote, an adventure comedy story about the crew of the Aftosa, Dirk and Jorge McSanchez. They are in the business of locating and procuring lost or misappropriated antiquities. A lucrative, if not stable, business until a young woman named Jet Paxton suddenly becomes an unsolicited crew member. Jet's quest to find her mother will point them towards a fabled artifact of immense power and all the danger that comes with it. Basically, it's a screwball space adventure story aspiring to be the love child of Indiana Jones and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Our goal is to make you laugh as much as thrill you with the story. So, if you are looking for a sci-fi structured action comedy, look no further. Ben and John have been writing together for almost 20 years and have an easy time translating that friendship onto the page. Space Oddities is pure fun. Yes, it uses all the classic tropes, but so does a good Mel Brooks movie. On my recent interview with the creators, I found out that this idea has been simmering in Ben and John's heads for 15 years. That's a lot of development time, and certainly comes off richly developed concept. If you're looking for something to tickle the funny bone, that's the perfect choice for you. Our last featured project is a healthy serving of horror, comedy, sci-fi, Christmas goodness. Check it out. I can't leave you hanging without a good holiday recommendation, and X-Maschina is a genre Christmas smash up. Should be right up your alley. From the creators, 'twas the year 2045, and Santa is leaving Christmas behind. He's just stopped believing. The robots are taking over and judging everyone to have been extremely naughty. Can Santa save the day? Find out in this 20-page sleigh ride with more hits than Rock'em Sock'em Robots. This is a great creative team bringing you something enticingly spicy for your holiday time. So grab some spiked eggnog, crank up the Trans-Siberian Orchestra as Santa Claus strikes the robot uprising down, staving off Skynet's takeover for one more year. I've been following Lane Lloyd's work on Twitter, and you really need to take a look at his take on Santa Claus. It's super unique, and I haven't seen anything so creative on St. Nick's since the Lobo Paramilitary Christmas special. And that goes back a long way. So give it a look, make sure to check it out. That's it. That's a wrap for episode 1. I hope you liked it more than Star Wars episode 1. I really appreciate you guys turning in to Kickstart My Heart, and we will see you next time. A very happy holidays from all of us at Comic Book Yeti to all of you. Take care. See you next time. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the Comic Book Yeti YouTube channel to receive notifications when new episodes become available. And download our podcast, Into the Comics Cave, wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time, Cryptid Kids.